welcome on in to another episode of Getting Well with Terry, free NHL picks. I am Terry, ready to break down today's slate. I have obviously the NHL games, and then I have 3 AHL games and a packed AHL slate that I will go over later on in the show. Morning, Tim. How's it going? Nick, ugly dogs tonight. There is one big underdog that I'm looking at today's slate. Richie, smash a like, as he always does. Much appreciated, Richie. We'll jump into the show as we usually do. Take a look at the current NHL standings here. Carolina, my best bet, won in regulation yesterday, so they moved up 2 points. New Jersey Devils, with 1.4 seconds left, was able to win in regulation themselves. And then the New York Rangers are there in third with 70 points. Going to the Atlantic, Boston, overtime win against Dallas. Toronto hasn't played. Tampa Bay, 2 points behind Toronto here. Let me update this, actually. Let me update this because I thought for some reason Tampa was 2 points. Yeah, there we go. Okay. False alarm. I forgot to update. Carolina, 78 points. New Jersey, 75. Rangers, 70. Then we have Boston with 85. Tampa Bay has moved past Toronto in second place with 72, and Toronto is in third place with 72. Looking at the wild card spots, Pittsburgh and Washington, the top 2 spots still. Islanders and Florida, right behind them. And then Buffalo, about 4 points back, tied with Detroit. Ottawa, who is getting red hot all of a sudden, 1 point behind them. Philadelphia, and then Montreal and Columbus. In the West, Dallas leading the Central, 2 points ahead of Winnipeg. Colorado, 10 points behind Dallas here in third. Vegas, LA, and Seattle, the top 3 in the Pacific Division, all divided by 2 points. Very close race there. Looking at the wild card spots, Edmonton in the first spot with 65. Minnesota in the second spot with 61. Calgary tied with Minnesota, also with 61 points. And then it kind of drops off there with Nashville and St. Louis. If Nashville continues to kind of drop off here, it could be a 9-team race for 8 spots. So the West is starting to tighten. The top spots are starting to break away from the pack. And then we obviously have the bottom of the Western Conference. We will bring up this game, which is the game we're going to start out with. Good day, Terry. How's it going, Brian? 4-leg player prop parlay for Tim. Matthews no goal, which I totally can see why. Matthews is minus 170 to score in his first game back from injury. McDavid no goal. I know you bet that before. Kaprizov no goal. You just lost your player prop parlay. Sorry, Tim. It is a loser now. And McKinnon no goal, which looks great. Plus 1080. I would advise taking Kaprizov out of that. Otherwise, it looks good. Good win on Carolina yesterday. I don't know what a goalie interference is anymore. Hey, it is what it is. The Canes almost covered the puck line too, almost cashed the over. The puck just barely. They didn't even review it because it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game. But it was so close, I think that goal might have counted. Crystal, hey, Terry, I like today's slate. Me too. Happy Wednesday, Terry. Let's cash in the slates. Yes, very good slate. And we'll start with this one. Maybe not the game of the night, but we have Chicago Blackhawks plus 375 to plus 430. Toronto minus 450 to minus 570. 6.5s right across the board. This one, I'm not touching a side in this game. Toronto, obviously, minus 500 favorites. Even on the puck line is almost minus 200 for the puck line. So obviously, I'm not touching the side there. I'm not taking Chicago either because this is the Blackhawks we're talking about on the second night of a back-to-back. I could see if Toronto doesn't show up to this game and if Peter Mrazek really does come to play, I could see an instance where Chicago upsets this game, but I'm not putting my money on it. Toronto should roll in this game, but should doesn't mean will. For me, though, Chicago's gone over in 6 of their last 11, not including yesterday's game. Toronto has gone over 6.5 in 4 of their last 7 games. 8 of the last 11 meetings in Toronto has gone over 6.5. And the last 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone over 6.5. I'm going to take the over here. The only thing I'm worried about is that Peter Mrazek comes to play today and ruins the over. But just even if he does come to play, it doesn't mean he'll have luck. So we'll definitely see what happens. Play of the day is Rangers in reg. So do you want that to be your best bet? Because I can put that in for best bet if you'd like. No way the Leafs lose as a minus 500 favorite. Tim is going with Maple Leafs plus 2.5, which I think would probably be around minus 1,000. Somewhere probably around there. Maybe even minus 1,500. Good luck with that, Tim. Blackhawks money line at over 6.5. I love the over there with you, Nick. Nylander shot on goal prop, which reminds me to get to props in this game, which I'll get to here in a second. Was Kane supposed to go to the Maple Leafs or Rangers? He was rumored to go to either one of these teams. When the Rangers traded for Tarasenko, Kane kind of had, I don't want to say a temper tantrum, but he was very upset that the Rangers didn't wait and let him have an opportunity to go there. So he was hoping to go to the Rangers, but that won't happen now. The way these two teams are playing, I'm pretty sure this is where my best bet is going, just because of the value. Uh-oh. And yes, AJ said yes for best bet. New York Rangers in reg. I'll get the odds for that later on. Oh my God, Nylander was going to be my best bet. And that is my only player prop for today in this game. William Nylander anytime goal, which I got for plus 125. He's goals in 4 of his last 7 games. That's who I'm going to. I'm sure as hell not going to Matthews at minus 170. That's not happening. So for me, it'll be the over 6.5 as well as Nylander anytime goal. No props for the Blackhawks. I just hope they can contribute to the over. Moving on to the next game, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Arizona Coyotes here in this one. Tampa Bay minus 225 to minus 250 road favorites. Arizona plus 190 to plus 210 home dogs. 6.5 right across the board. In this one, thank you to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They cashed a 6-game parlay for me yesterday with their victory in the shootout. Also made it a winning night on the site for me last night. So thank you very much to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now they're coming in here to Arizona. Most likely, we will be getting Brian Elliott in net. When he's been in net, he's been in the net 13 games this year. 9 of the 13 have gone over 6.5. 3 of the last 4 meetings between these teams have gone over 6.5. Tampa Bay has gone over 6.5 in 3 of their last 5, not including last night's game. And Arizona has gone over 6.5 in 2 of their last 3 games. Basically, for me in this one, I'm not taking a side. I'm going right back to the over. Another over in this one. Both teams are going over at the current moment. And then when it comes to player props, it's all Arizona for me in this one. Barrett, and it's that top line. Barrett Hayden, Nick Schmaltz, and Clayton Keller. Barrett Hayden, I took him to get a point at around minus 105, which is a great price for a top-line forward that plays with the team's by far 2 best players, Nick Schmaltz and Clayton Keller. Keller has an assist in 4 of his last 4. So if you're looking to single bet that, I would go with Keller assist. And Schmaltz has a goal in 3 straight games, so I would go with goal. What I did in this game instead, I went with the same game parlay, and I took Keller and Schmaltz both to get a point, which is a plus 105 at Bet365. Credit / shout out to Josh Inglis on Twitter, covers_Josh. He mentioned that he was doing that, and then that's a great idea, so I definitely tailed him on that. I was planning on taking Schmaltz goal, Keller assist, going the single bet route, but in case Keller scores and Schmaltz assists, I'm not going to be left out losing, so I'm just going to take both to get a point for plus 105, and then Barrett Hayden to get a point, as I said, minus 105, the over in this game. I see goals, especially with Elliott in net. That's what Richie has as well, is Nylander plus 125 to score. I like it. Let's keep it going. Yotes money line team total over 2.5 versus Elliott. I like it. Congratulations, Terry. Thanks, Richie. I don't go heavy on the parlays, but it was a nice 6-gamer yesterday, so it was nice to cash for sure. Schmaltz and Bukestad anytime goal. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it for sure. And Krause. Yeah, he I think scored 2 goals in his last game, so he's definitely a good look as well. I hope for lots of goals in this game. One game, so 9 p.m. Eastern. There's only one early game, the Toronto-Chicago. Everything else is later, so an interesting schedule we have here tonight. Colorado at Minnesota. Minnesota usually plays at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be playing at 9:30. So I don't know why the NHL has decided to put all these games late, but that's what they've decided. Colorado plus 110 to plus 122. Minnesota says minus 118 at Betano, but I don't think that's correct. It's minus 128 to minus 140 for the Wild. 6s right across the board. I don't try to keep it a secret on which team is my favorite team. Obviously, that's the Minnesota Wild. But I can't come on here on a betting show and recommend you to bet the Wild at minus 140 with how they've been playing lately. I can't. There's no explanation I could give to bet Minnesota at this price with how they've been playing as of late. The good things for the Wild, they are 4-1-1 in their last 6 at home, 4-2 in the last 6 home games against Colorado. So they have had some success against Colorado. This Avalanche team is beat up. Cale Makar will not play tonight. It does sound like Josh Manson will make his return to the lineup. And it sounds like Georgiev will go on back-to-back games for the Avalanche instead of putting Jonas Johansson in. Wild's offense isn't hitting very well right now. So for me, I'm taking the draw in this game at plus 330. Colorado went to overtime last night. Minnesota's gone to overtime in their last 2 games. This is going to be, I think, a close competitive game. And unfortunately, I think it will go to overtime. Points really means a lot for both of these teams to get a point. Obviously, they're tied in the standings right now. Looking at player props, I am going, as I said earlier, with Tim's no players to score parlay. I am going with Kirill Kaprizov, who has goals in 3 of his last 5 games. He also has 9 goals in 13 games against the Avalanche. The Wild are struggling to score right now. Kaprizov is the Wild's best hope here. He comes to play against this Avalanche team. 14 points in 13 games against the Avalanche. I like Kaprizov to score in this one. And I like an overtime game. What happens there happens. If during this game Colorado is up and I can get Minnesota at a good plus price, I probably will live bet them. But I can't recommend anything pre-game at minus 140 with the Wild in this spot. Nick's best bet is Wild money line, which it actually isn't. He is just doing that because when he bets on the Wild, they lose. When I bet on the Islanders, they lose. I can't explain it. Minnesota, Colorado over 6. Obviously Marc-Andre Fleury will be in net. It sounds like it will be Georgiev on a back-to-back. I just can't recommend an over with how Minnesota's offense has been lately. Colorado as well has one of the worst 5-on-5 offenses in the NHL, like Minnesota. So if for some reason there's not a lot of power plays in this game, we could be in for a 1-1, 2-2 type of game. So I can't bet. I can't bet the over in this one. Let's go at Earl Sports Bets. Laughing face. Yeah. He says IceX, who has a Colorado picture today. Awesome. I like the under 6. This is the other game debating on best bet. Yeah, see, I just kind of said don't take the over 6, which Nick was suggesting, but I can't take the under 6 either, just because it is Fleury. It is Georgiev on the second night of a back-to-back, or it'll be Jonas Johansson. The Avalanche defensive injuries right now. And when these teams have faced each other, they're usually high-scoring games. 4 of the last 6 meetings in Minnesota went over 6.5. So I'm just completely torn on the total. Give me the draw and Kaprizov anytime goal. Sabres get going. We'll get to that game very shortly, but I don't really have anything positive to say about the Sabres right now. So I'll give that as my little preview there. Going on to the next game, we have the Detroit Red Wings and Edmonton Oilers. You can get Detroit plus 170 to plus 190. Edmonton minus 214 to minus 230. 6.5s. I do see a 7 available in this one. And I love this game. I am on the over 6.5. Detroit's gone over 6.5 in 4 of their last 6 games. Edmonton, 10 of their last 13. Edmonton, 3-1-2 in their last 6. So 3 wins, 3 losses. Their losses were to Columbus, Philadelphia, and Montreal. So Edmonton's losing to teams that, when you look at it, Columbus, Montreal, Philadelphia, these are teams Edmonton should be beating. So that's kind of interesting here. Detroit, 5-2 in their last 7 games. One of those losses did come to this Edmonton Oilers team during that stretch. I think Edmonton are too big of favorites in this game. I think there's a ton of value here with Detroit, who's playing well and is getting right back into the playoff race here. So I do like the Detroit Red Wings as a huge underdog. They are my underdog of the day. I'm also on the over 6.5 in this game. I like goals. And if you like goals in this game, if you like the Detroit Red Wings, there's one guy right now that should be on your betting card, and he is Dylan Larkin, anytime goal, which I got for plus 220, which is crazy. He scored in his last 3 games. He's shooting the puck a ton. I also took over 3.5 shots, which he has done in 5 of his last 6 games. Let's see. I thought I had it written down here. 6 of his last 7. 6 of his last 7 games. Larkin has hit over 4 more shots. It's 3.5 shots at plus money for Dylan Larkin. So I took that. Give me Larkin goal. Give me Larkin shots. Give me Detroit and the over. I like a lot in this game, surprisingly. Oh, Terry is saying that the Sabres are worse than Columbus. No, I definitely didn't say that. Definitely did not say that. But we'll move on along to the next game. Buffalo Sabres, Anaheim Ducks. You have the Buffalo Sabres minus 200 road favorites here to minus 222. Anaheim Ducks plus 168 to plus 180. 6.5s right across the board on this one. And this is the one game that I did not touch on today's slate. I have absolutely no interest in this game whatsoever. Both teams have lost their last few games. Both teams are allowing a ton of goals in their last few games. 5 or more. It would be a lean towards the over in this one. I don't like the price here, and I don't like what I've seen from the Sabres since I think the game before the All-Star break. Since their shootout loss to Minnesota on Hockey Day Minnesota, the Sabres have lost every game. So I'm not interested in jumping on the Sabres as a huge road favorite here. I'm not going to back the Ducks either. So this game is a pass. Looking at player props, nobody really stands out for Buffalo. Didn't really look too much at Anaheim, so this game is just a pass. A lot of other plays on the slate for me today. Jay Stone is going to go with Buffalo and Anaheim. First period, both teams to score. Both teams to score. If you have odds on that, Jay Stone, let me know. If not, I will have to go hunt for them. But we will see if you can give me odds there. We'll move on to the last game, get to the 3 AHL games quickly, and then get to the best bet segment. New York Rangers, Vancouver Canucks. You can get the Rangers minus 178 to minus 210. Vancouver Canucks plus 160 to plus 178. 6.5s across the board here. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I like the over here, and I like the Rangers here on the puck line. Basically, the reason for it, both of these teams are going over. Rangers are 6-0-1 in their last 7 games. They've gone over in 5 of their last 7. They've won by 2 or more in 4 of the 6 wins. They are winning games. They are scoring a lot, this Rangers team. And then Vancouver 3-4-1 in their last 8. They've gone over 6.5 in 8 straight games. They can score, but they can't stop the puck. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. The Rangers win by multiple goals, score a bunch of goals, and I like Mika Zibanejad, who has scored in 4 straight games. I am on him to score, and I'm also on Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin to get power play points, both separately, obviously. Rangers have a power play goal in 3 of their last 4 games, and Vancouver has allowed at least 1 power play goal. They're usually allowing 2 in some games, but they've at least allowed 1 in 8 of their last 10 games. So I like the Rangers power play to beat up the Canucks penalty kill and a bunch of goals to be scored in this one. I got Zibanejad over half a power play point, plus 162 at FanDuel. Artemi Panarin over half a power play point, plus 146 at FanDuel. And then Zibanejad over half a goal, plus 145. 3 plus money props. My main focuses today are Zibanejad and Dylan Larkin. So I'm hoping for big nights from them on today's slate. Dun, 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 dun. Plus 125. All right. I like the Rangers in regulation. Yeah. I can't blame you there. I went with the puck line for the plus money because I love the Rangers in this spot. Zibanejad, Kreider, Hedl, and Pettersson anytime goal. Hey, I like it, Richie. A lot of goals helps my over, so best of luck. Holy F, LOL, Leafs are minus 610 on FanDuel now. Wow. Minus 610. Lean Rangers minus 1, but pass. Hey, nothing wrong with passing. We'll jump into the AHL quickly before we get to the best bet segment. If you watched yesterday's show, it kind of feels like deja vu because these 2 teams who just faced each other yesterday are facing each other again today. The Abbotsford Canucks, Calgary Wranglers. I gave out Calgary Wranglers yesterday. Money line, I think it was minus 125. And they won 4-1 and continued their dominance over the Canucks. Calgary 7-1 against the Canucks this year. Rolling right now. Abbotsford had their winning streak snapped against Calgary yesterday. I'm going right back to the Calgary Wranglers here. You do have to take them in regulation, though. They're around minus 145, which is out of my price range. So I'm taking them in regulation. Also a good parlay piece with the money line. As you can see, 17-7-1 at home for Calgary. Abbotsford 13-11-1 on the road. So they play much better at home, as most teams do. Moving on to the next one, we have Tucson Roadrunners, Arizona's minor league team, against Coachella Valley Firebirds, which is Seattle's minor league team. Coachella 5-2 this year against Tucson. Tucson has lost their last 4, all by 3 or more goals. So they are struggling. And when you lose 5-1 to San Diego, the worst team in the AHL, that should have some alarm bells going. Coachella, they're off a loss to San Diego after beating them the 2 previous games. I like Coachella at home here. They've played very well at home. 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. 13-3-0-1 at home. So they play great home hockey. I like them in regulation as well. And again, if you wanted to parlay Calgary with Coachella, you could get plus money for that. That's where I would go with that. Looking at the third final game before we get to best bets, Ontario Reign, which is the LA Kings AHL team, against San Jose Barracuda. No surprise, San Jose Sharks, minor league team here. I am going with Ontario Reign in regulation once again. San Jose has lost 5 straight games. They are struggling heavily. Ontario Reign playing pretty well. 2-1, 0-1 against San Jose this year. I like the Ontario Reign in this one. Again, in regulation. I'll bring this tab up, and then we'll go to the comments, and then we'll get to the best bet segment. Plus 460 on Bet Online. Interesting. All right, and Richie is going to go with the Zibanejad over half a point. Is that, or over half a goal, right? I think that's goal. Zibanejad over, or is that half a power play point or goal? Let me know. Let me know what it is. Roadrunners. Yep. Wow. So the future of Arizona is not bright. I think most of their young talent isn't in the AHL yet. I think it's in college and stuff. So it's kind of deceiving a little bit. I really like your Larkin play, but I've got to take the shot. All right. Brian is going for it. He is going to take Chicago Blackhawks money line plus 460. All right. So 460. Goal. Okay, perfect. Laughing at IceX, whose best bet is Avs money line. All right, Colorado. Who saw that coming? Nick is also going to take Chicago Blackhawks money line as his best bet. And what do you say? Plus 460 as well. All right. Got the Avalanche best bet for IceX. Mikey Anderson signs 8-year, $33 million extension with the Kings. Wow, 8 years, $33 million. That is $4.12 million a year. That's a pretty good deal for the LA if he turns out good long term. Seriously, no one can be betting the Leafs, are they? No. I guarantee you, there's definitely people that are betting the Leafs, probably with the Leafs money line in parlays. That's probably how they would go. What a way to catch up to Nick and Trent. Trent the doofus is betting the Leafs. Who could have seen that coming? Laughing face. Crystal's best bet is going to be Chicago Blackhawks. So people are liking Chicago tonight. All right, but Crystal's going to play it a little bit safe here. Not the square play, not at all. Blackhawks plus 2.5. I would bet Blackhawks plus 2.5 before I bet the money line, even with the price difference, just because Blackhawks plus 2.5 has a good chance of hitting compared to the money line. And Nick, and then nice X. Perfect. Ingram confirms. Oof, for Arizona. Over. I love the over. But looking at what happened yesterday, Carolina in regulation won for me. The Washington did tie it, but thank God for the video review. It was goalie interference. In that one, there were guys all over in the crease pushing Anderson, so that was a good call. Nick went with Pittsburgh, San Jose over 6.5. Sadly, the game did not go over. Tim went with Syracuse money line in the college basketball. That cashed. Ice X went with the Blues money line. They beat up the Florida Panthers. Z Goler went with Kraken money line. I was on that as well, an underdog. They went to the freaking shootout and lost. And I would start a rant about how the NHL should get rid of shootouts. I was going to do it yesterday or the day before when Minnesota lost. Not because Minnesota lost in the shootout, because they're 5-3 in the shootout this year, so they actually do well in the shootouts. But we need to get rid of the shootout. 3-on-3, extend it to 10-minute overtime. Get rid of the freaking shootout. I hate the shootouts. Richie, Dallas Stars money line. Sadly, they lost in overtime. Rich H went with Dougie Hamilton over 1.5 points. Sadly, New Jersey's offense couldn't really get going against Merzlikins and the Blue Jackets. Jack Hughes may have his disappearance. His injury may have a larger impact than I kind of thought. And then Crystal with the bad beat of the night. As I said, Carolina scored with we don't know how much time was left. Right at the buzzer. They didn't even look at it or anything, which is really sucks because I think it's possible. It could have been a goal. But we will jump into the standings. The current standings. Ice X has now moved back into first place. Days and Confused in second. Crystal in third. Tim in fourth. And then it goes down from there. Still anybody's game with 13 days left in the month. Still lots of runway left. And then looking at today's best bet so far. AJ's Rangers in regulation. J-Stone, Buffalo, Anaheim first period. Both teams to score. Zibanejad anytime goal for Richie. Blackhawks money line for Brian and Nick. Blackhawks plus 2.5 for Crystal. And Colorado Avalanche money line for Ice X. Stars couldn't wait to give that game away. Oh, well, I know it sucks. Please get rid of the shootout. Shootouts 100% need to go. Not biased because Isles are 0-4 in the shootout. Hey, I said shootouts need to go and the Wild have a winning record in shootouts. It's just shootouts suck. I agree, no shootouts. If anybody likes shootouts, feel free to leave a comment and give a reason why. But I don't know what kind of reason there could be. 4 out of the 9 games were draws. Could have made money betting draws. Yeah, the draws are definitely profitable if you can get the right ones. Oh boy. Best bet today. I like all my bets kind of the same. Let me see here. I want to see what it is for Rangers in regulation that AJ's is going. Minus 117. Let me see. Minus 117. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with the same Rangers in regulation. Actually, you know what? I'm going Rangers -1.5. That's what I bet. Go big or go home. Rangers +1.5, +135. The Canucks are just awful. That's basically all I have to say about that. Kev's best bet is also going to be Colorado Avalanche money line. I would wish you and IceX good luck, but everybody would know I'm lying. It's a huge game for the Wild. They need this one. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, Crystal. That's today's show. Best of luck to everybody today. If you want to put in your best bet after the show is done, feel free to put in the video comments. If you have trouble finding the video, it happens with YouTube. Go to the Getting Wild channel. Obviously, there's a playlist, most recent show. As soon as the show's done, I put the video in the playlist, so you can find today's show in the playlist, most recent show on the Getting Wild YouTube channel. Free. Feel free to put in your best bet. Let's all make some money today. Good luck to all. Good luck, everyone. Thumbs up. Best of luck. Yes. Hit the thumbs up if you're new to the channel, or if you like the content, sorry. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Best of luck, everybody, and we will see you again tomorrow for another episode. Getting Wild with Terry, free NHL picks. Best of luck, guys.